Vice President Kamala Harris put Donald Trump on the defensive in that debate last night to an extent that we probably haven't seen in a couple years at least. So she talked about crowd sizes. She decided to troll him about the size of his crowds at his rallies, his past bankruptcies as well, his inherited wealth. Trump, plain and simple, was left on the defensive. So this was one of his responses. He said, "People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics." And Harris was just left with this smirk like, yeah, I got under your skin, buddy boy. Yeah, you're on the defensive and you don't like that. You couldn't do this when you were up against Joe Biden, could you? You know, yeah, ultimately, the size of his crowds is irrelevant. It's the policy that really matters. It's not really how many people are coming to his rallies, how many people are interested in him as a show. It's the fact that he has refused to concede the 2020 election, and that he's probably going to refuse to concede the 2024 election if he loses, and that he's just going to be a sore loser. And yes, he's going to genuinely threaten democracy. And if he is elected president, he's going to threaten the democratic institutions in this country. But, you know, it's one of those things that's like, it's just an optic win. If you can get a rise out of him about something like that, and in the process come off cool and collected, keep him on the defensive, troll him a little bit. So even though it's not really a substantive point from Harris, it is mostly just entertainment. And maybe that's what we're all just in these debates for at this point, is just entertainment, because we've all decided who we're voting for, or at least if we're not voting, then we're not voting, or if we're voting third party, whatever. She brought up Project 2025. Trump definitely was overly defensive in his response to her bringing this up. He said that he did not want to read a page of Project 2025. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Not my plan, which it's true. He didn't write the plan. His administration didn't write the plan, but he's affiliated with a lot of people who did write the plan. And there's a very real chance, therefore, that the plan gets implemented in some form, or at least some major policy proposals in the plan get implemented if he becomes president in 2025. So, yeah, he's just compensating when he says, I don't know anything about it, I didn't read a single page of it. And he also kind of contradicts himself when he says that he wishes the people who wrote it all the best. He actually said that once, like, I wish them good luck. Really? If it's something you don't even know, why wish them good luck? For all you know, it might be big, bad, evil Marxism in there. They might seize the means of production. They might implement nationwide woke DEI in schools. So, yeah, pretty hilarious. She hit him for killing the bipartisan border deal. Now, that was something, again, not a lot of people are talking about that because it didn't pass, and because Republicans want to rage about the current state of the southern border. And if there's anything that's going to help the state of the southern border before Trump takes office, they're going to want to stop it because they love having it as their issue. As long as the border remains ostensibly problematic, it's going to make the Democrats look bad, and it's going to make it a strong issue for the Republicans, kind of analogous to abortion for Democrats. And we've seen that they've gotten so comfortable with the issue of the border lately that they're now spreading unsubstantiated rumors about Haitian immigrants abducting, harming, and eating people's cats in Springfield, Ohio. Yeah, J.D. Vance is doing this, and Trump did it himself on the debate stage. Yeah, he really had the audacity to just go up there and say that. And of course, he got fact-checked. They pointed out, look, there's no actual record of this. This is unsubstantiated. And in response, yeah, Kamala Harris just said, hey, talk about extreme, which I thought was a good answer. She didn't get butthurt and say, I can't believe that you're so racist and so xenophobic, Mr. President. Why would you say that about the Haitian immigrants? You don't have evidence. So yeah, it's a good response. Talk about extreme. And she said it in a way that didn't sound too indignant, like she was being accusatory, but more like she was shocked at what she was hearing, and she was kind of trying to be a little playful about it too. Sort of like the whole "they're weird" thing that Tim Walz started. Yeah, and then Trump, of course, didn't even answer a question on climate change, didn't put forward any sort of climate change plan. If he becomes president again, I think we can expect someone similar to Scott Pruitt. Do you remember him as the head of the EPA? Yeah, that guy was just a total activist in that role, and a guy who believed in complete and utter deregulation, didn't really believe in the EPA doing its job. And Kamala Harris hit him for saying that climate change is a hoax. And she talked about the Inflation Reduction Act and its implications for climate change. So that's a pretty good policy response. Yeah, so overall, there's articles coming out like Politico. Harris gets under Trump's skin over and over. Definitely true. A lot of people are picking up on this. Yeah, I mean, there were some points where he kept his cool, even like more than I would have expected for Donald Trump. So I'll give him credit for that. But yeah, Harris knows how to work him fairly well. I think she just needs to stay out of the pitfalls of monologuing too hard. She did have some answers which were a bit word salady. Now, to be fair, I noticed these were at the end of the debate. So by the end of the debate, you're starting to get a little exhausted, a little winded. It went on for almost 2 hours. So it's sort of understandable that both candidates would start throwing out answers that sound less and less coherent as the debate goes on. 2 hours is a long time to just keep talking. So yeah, the conservative spin on this, there's a lot of deflection to the moderators, accusations of them being biased. And yeah, let's face it, they are biased. If you asked David Muir and Lindsey Davis who they would want to win the 2024 race, or if you were able to read their mind, they would probably say Kamala Harris. But that said, they still did cut Harris off at her time. They still did have points where Trump didn't answer a question. He just said something vague, rambled incoherently without actually substantively answering it. And they did not press him for a specific answer. So they could have still been more aggressive. Yeah, and it's just, that Trump's performance couldn't have been that good when people are deflecting to the moderators, because it's not like the moderators were bullying him or anything, or like deliberately trying to make him perform worse. I think they just took issue with his falsehoods to such an extent that they felt they needed to call him out on it. And if you remember Jake Tapper and Dana Bash over at CNN during that Trump-Biden debate, they didn't feel the need to do that. They did not do live fact-checking. Basically, the fact-checking was up to the candidates. And, well, Joe Biden is not the best at fact-checking his opponent. So he let Trump get away with saying a lot of falsehoods, like the falsehood that every single legal scholar in the country wanted Roe versus Wade overturned. Trump even said that at this debate, and he was not fact-checked on it. So, yeah, so much for super biased moderators. I get it, they're kind of biased, but were they really in it to win it for Kamala Harris? I don't think so. I think it's just a deflection for a poor performance from Trump. And even a lot of conservative commentators that I'm saying on X, they're smart enough to realize this wasn't a good showing. They're pointing out that there were a lot of missed opportunities for Trump, and that he was just on the defensive too much. They're acknowledging Kamala Harris and, in a sense, giving her credit for her ability to bait him, to troll him, to rile him up. And they think that he needs to do a lot better going forward. And I agree, he'll probably need to do better going forward if he wants to win the election. Things are still pretty close. We will see if this debate has any impact on the polls. I think it's too early to tell now, but yeah. If you liked this video or found it insightful or helpful, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. Let's help grow this channel. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I will speak to you in the next video.